Hello, lovely students. I welcome you to this class. Do you know that what you say in English is important? But of course, how you say what you say is as well very, very important. This is going to bring us to the subject of intonation. What is intonation in English? Intonation refers to the manner in which the pitch of our voice rises and falls when we are speaking. What do I mean by this? When you speak, especially when you're having a conversation with someone, the pitch of your voice does not remain on the same level. It goes up or it comes down. That is what we know as pitch. That is what we know as intonation. So the manner in which it rises and falls, or falls and rises, whichever way it is known as intonation. Oh yes, it's known as intonation. So we have different kinds of intonation in the English language. Here we have the rising intonation, the falling intonation, rise and fall intonation, or fall and rise intonation, depending on what is applicable in a particular sentence. Okay, let's go ahead to talk about each of the types of intonation that we have and how to apply them or when they are used. The first we are going to look at is the rising intonation. Rising intonation simply means that your voice will begin to go up. The pitch of your voice will go up. It wouldn't come down. As you can see, the arrow in here is indicating that the voice is rising, going up. So, when do you use the rising intonation? It is used in sentences that express apologies, that express welfare, that express farewells, greetings, good wishes, and several others. For instance, you can have a sentence like, get well soon. Get well soon. The pitch of the voice is rising in that sentence. We have another sentence like, I am so sorry. You can see the pitch, it's rising. And you can have a sentence like, best of luck. So it keeps rising. You use it in a sentence that express apologies, that express good wishes, farewells, greetings, and several others. Of course, we also use the rising intonation for a yes or no question. These are questions that require yes or a no as an answer. Look at this example. We have, do you know him? Are you coming to the party? Are you hungry? Is it okay? And several others like that. So a rising intonation is used for a yes or no question. Now let's move on to the falling intonation. The falling intonation, this means that your voice will fall, it will decline, the pitch will decline, unlike what we have in the rising intonation. First, it is used in WH question or questions that begin with how. What do I mean by this? WH question usually starts with words like who, where, what, why, and several others. And of course, the falling intonation is applied to questions that begins with either WH or how. Okay, let's look at the examples. How often do you read? How often do you read? You see the modulation, it comes up and then it falls down. We have also what happened to him. What happened to him? So it is falling. Now let's move on to the next, where we also use the falling intonation at the end of a question tag that you are sure of the answer. Question tag that has a certainty as the answer. For example, he was here, wasn't he? Another example is, you didn't go there, did you? Did you see that? Okay, very good. Let's move on. We also use the fall intonation. The falling intonation is statements that are generally true, like the one we have on the screen there. He who failed to plan plans to fail. He who failed to plan plans to fail. So you see that? We also use it for commands or instructions. We use it to give commands or instructions. Look at this. Don't do that. Don't do that. You see, be careful not to fall. It's giving a command or an instruction to someone, but there is a falling intonation that comes with that sentence. Very good. Now we are going to move into the rise fall intonation. The rise fall intonation. Basically, we use the rise and fall intonation when we are making a list of items, when you are listing things. So you use a rise and fall intonation. You can see the arrows indicating that. So here we have an example. He bought a book, a pen, and a pack of handkerchief. He bought a book, a pen, and a pack of handkerchief. So you can see the pitch rising and falling at the same time. It's time for us to illustrate what we have learned about intonation using a conversation between Trey and Willie. Willie says to Trey, "Trey, the automobile mechanic is waiting for you outside." And then Trey answers by saying, "Oh, is he? Has he brought my car?" Then Willie answers Trey, "I don't think so. There's no car with him." Finally, Willie says, "Then, what has he come to do? I need the car now." The conversation between Trey and Willie, as we have just read it, the conversation between Willie and Trey, we have just used to show the pitch of our voice while it rise and fall in a conversation. Thank you.
An affix is a word part that is attached or affixed to a root word. Sometimes an affix comes before a root word or stem, and sometimes it comes after. When it comes before the root word, it is called a prefix. The root word is the main part of a word that gives that word its basic meaning. When you attach a prefix to a root word, you change its meaning. Even if you're unaware of it, you've surely heard one of these in the past. In fact, you just heard a prefix in that sentence. Unaware is a combination of the word aware and the prefix un. Un means reverse or opposite, so adding it to the word aware makes it mean the opposite of aware, or not aware. See how the prefix un changed the meaning of the word? Let's look at some other examples of prefixes you might have heard before. And just like un, they all have meanings that, when added to a root word, will change its meaning. There's re. That means again. So if we add it to a root word like play, we get replay, which means to play again. Or to a root word like organize, and we get reorganize, which means to organize again. Pre is another one. Pre means before. Let's add pre to a couple of words and see what we get. How about school? You go to preschool before you go to school. Pre-school. And how about fix? Add pre to it and you get prefix. And now we know that a prefix is something you attach before your root word. Makes sense, right? Just keep in mind that while the root or stem of a word tells you the basic meaning, a prefix can change everything.